Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brutes, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. This is Sound Guy Ryan, and joining me, as always, is Matt and Erica.
What's up, Brewits listeners? Thank you so much for listening to our episode last week with Vox and Hop Podcast, Neil from Gilded Skull, Widowmaker, in the band Summoner. That's right. So we had a lot of fun with that episode, and man, did that beer slap.
Slippy
Great.
slap.
Yeah. So we are going to be doing an awesome interview in Sterling, Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
Who are we interviewing this week, Erica?
We're having Rocket Frog.
It's just Rocket Frog.
It's just Rocket Frog.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure there's
actually-
more to it, but Rocket Frog's the important part.
Yeah, this area seems pretty awesome. It's that, Delaware, Maryland, DC, Virginia area, and there's a lot of coming breweries.
Yeah, tons of restaurants, a lot of stuff to do down there. They're right outside, like you were saying, DC.
Yep.
So if you go to that area, it's easy to just go everywhere.
Yeah, I love the DC area because you can do a lot of stuff for free in DC.
Free.
You can go to like all the Smithsonians and enjoy quite a bit of a day for free. And then what's better than free stuff and then going to breweries?
Hey, it's free. It's me.
It's So yeah, we've been drinking a lot of stuff. I've notably been drinking a lot of seltzers as it's been getting hotter.
Indeed.
I know last week you mentioned the Hoot seltzers, and that kind of inspired me to get some Hoot seltzers.
Yes.
And I know that I'm a fan of the Hoot seltzers, but I'm more a fan of the Night Shift teas.
Oh, I haven't had any of those recently.
Yeah.
They are good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have a go-to non-beer for the summer?
Ooh, non-beer in the summer. That's hard. Does a Radler count? Is
Definitely.
Like half
Why
beer,
not?
half lemonade.
Why not?
Yeah, you know what? It does. Notch has a great Radler, and
Sylvaticus has a great
Radler.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like, it's super refreshing. This is the thing. Some breweries, they don't do it right. Like, sometimes they put way too much lemonade in there.
Yep.
Like, I want a half and half,
Next week, we need to discuss what's the difference between a shanty and a Radler.
I think it's Shandy.
Shandy.
It's shandy.
Shandy, sorry.
Shanty.
No, what's the difference between a shanty and a
Nope.
a
shandy?
Again.
No. I want to know what the difference between that is. A shanty.
A shanty and
I'm
a
just
shandy.
I'm just being a jerk.
Gosh.
Being a jerk.
The
A
worst.
shandy.
Okay. No, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But I think that does sort of count. But do
Yeah.
you have like a mixed drink that you'd go to?
A mixed drink? You know what? This is gonna sound weird. The girliest, fruitiest thing you can fucking get.
Delicious.
Not a problem.
Yeah, nah. You know what? With pina colada, frozen.
I hate.
I love
like,
frozen. I love frozen drinks.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate that it's like that's the girliest drink, right? Because
Shouldn't even be called that.
those drinks, honestly, are so powerful.
Oh my
like 90% of the time, like they have more booze than anything else.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like,
especially when you're on a cruise, like
yeah, they just top
you're
those up.
Jack
done.
it up.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
done.
Erica, do you have? You mentioned the seltzers.
Yeah, so
but-
hard seltzers are great. I do enjoy the teas. Oh, I really love? I love sangria.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, sangria is amazing in the summer. I actually recently had Down East. They are making a sangria now.
Yeah. Now,
It's excellent.
Are you more of a red sangria or a white sangria?
I could do both. I
Yeah.
generally have red sangria just because I usually have red wine in
Yeah.
the house. But yeah, either way.
Recently, I've been a fan of like the white sangrias because I prefer like grapes. I do love like peaches and all of that.
Yeah,
Stuff. So it's like a really nice mellow
definitely.
sangria. But I had vodka to my sangria.
Why not?
Why not?
Right.
All right. So we asked our friends on Instagram if they could be an action figure. If there was a Matt action figure, a Sound Guy Ryan action figure, and an Eric action figure, what would your catchphrase be? And what would your accessories be? And we got a lot of great responses.
Indeed.
But Ryan, I'm curious. What would be your accessories? Or should we just tell you what they would be?
I think you should just tell me.
So I was thinking a backwards baseball hat, beer,
Yep.
a microphone,
Sure.
and his truck. His truck's iconic. It made it through the woods.
It made it through the woods.
Would you agree or disagree with those? And would you like to add anything?
I think you kind of nailed it. That's about it. It'd be that. In the winter, I'm always wearing flannel.
Yeah, flannel. Oh, that's classic, Ryan.
Yeah,
Classic.
that's about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a hair tie counts.
You know what's funny? Michaela did say a hair tie, so that is funny that you mentioned that.
There you go.
It's like 50-50.
All right, so Erica, what would be yours? You kind of mentioned in our group chat.
Did I?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Oh, I think you made me tell you what it was.
Oh, maybe. What was it?
It was your dog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Your Nalgene. You always have like a cool water
I
bottle.
I do always have a cool water bottle.
What else? Oh, yeah, beer.
Yeah.
And then like some workout material because you're always like working out.
Yeah. Being some sick leggings.
Sure, sick leggings. And then you guys can decide mine.
Maybe his backwards hats.
You know, he does wear backwards hats, but sometimes he wears them forward.
He does. It's true.
So
That's
maybe
the-
we just say hat.
Hat.
Okay.
Yep.
Hats. Maybe his phone.
I'm always on my phone. Yep, that's a good one.
Roller skates.
This is all roller.
Yeah, roller skates. Hell yeah.
100%.
So if you, what would our catchphrase would be?
Well, yours is spaghetti about it.
Spaghetti about it. That's a good one. That's a good
true.
one.
That's true.
I would say Ryan's is like, no.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
No, well, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I don't know what mine would be.
You do say like meh.
Meh.
But like, I don't
I
want
was
that.
it a lot lately, but
Yeah.
Can her catchphrase just be her laugh?
Yeah, the catchphrase.
Yes.
Laugh.
That, like you'd press a button, I would just give that ridiculous laugh.
The pull string on the back would be like, it's not even like that. There it is. All right. Well, we better get to this
Anyways,
interview before it gets a little
seriously.
too weird. If you guys can think of any action figure catchphrases that we should say from listening to us weekly, or you want us to maybe make some action figures, follow us on Patreon.
Why not?
Because we need support to get all of these awesome interviews like we did in Sterling, Virginia with Rocket Frog. How do you think we get those? Support
guys.
by our listeners. So if you want to see some action figures coming, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, and follow us on all major social media networks, and tell your friends about the podcast. Until next week. Cheers. So, Erica and Sound Guy Ryan, it's starting to feel a lot like summer right now. It's getting a little muggy.
Yeah.
Weather's consistently above 70 degrees, which is,
Well, except for this week.
except for this day.
Yeah. And
But-
yesterday.
Yeah,
Yesterday was like 65.
it was wonderful.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was muggy though.
Okay, well, it will be muggy, and typically...
But it has been muggy, and there's been a crap ton of mosquitoes.
That's right. And the only reason I knew there was a crap ton of mosquitoes is that I saw Ryan's legs this morning.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah. And it's safe to say Ryan hates mosquitoes, right?
Yeah, I swell up really bad. Like one little bite looks
Not a fan.
like I don't know,
Yeah.
like a monster spider bit me in the leg or something.
Wow.
Well, it's
Monster.
safe to say that's why we are interviewing this brewery today, because we
Yeah.
know that you hate mosquitoes so much.
Yes.
And the amphibian that is,
The logo.
the logo and name of
Yeah.
this brewery
Yeah.
eats mosquitoes.
Thank God.
Thank God. And Erica, by that awesome description,
The best
and I'm
description.
sure so many of our listeners have hit the plus 30 seconds at this
At
point
this
to get
point,
to
yep,
the
yep.
interview. Who are we interviewing today?
We're interviewing Rocket Frog Brewing Company.
And we are talking to our new friend Richard. How are you, Richard?
I'm good. How are you guys?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad I can't see Ryan's swelled up legs.
I know,
yeah.
you're missing out on that beautiful image.
Ryan he's in the area. He's the guy in your head that,
The voice in your head.
the voice in your
Yeah,
head. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But it's like the positive voice in your head. you know?
Right,
Okay.
right. He's the good angel.
He's a good angel. Exactly. So we start every episode asking our guests their role at the brewery and their first memory of beer.
Okay. Well, like you said, I'm Richard Hartogs. I'm co-owner of Rocket Frog Brewing Company with my twin brother David.
Identical or are you
We're
guys
identical, but he's 3 inches taller than me. Really pisses me off.
That's lame. Yep.
It is. We're 97% identical in terms of DNA. We've been tested. So my role at the brewery is always pretty fluid. Depending on the time of year and such, but I kind of help with outside sales in terms with our distribution. I help set up events. I oversee the taproom manager a little bit. I don't really need to do much with that. He's pretty good. We have a head brewer who takes care of all the brewing, and he's way smarter than I am when it comes to that. So I kind of, every day is different. I'm starting to get back into doing the sales calls. Like just, I haven't done that in about a year.
Right,
really.
right.
Yeah.
I'll be the one who does our events. Or sometimes just if I have to fill in behind the bar for somebody or, any little job.
Yeah.
You're like the doer of all. You just help wherever you're needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I kind of joke
it.
sometimes that I've become a non-essential employee. So when it snows, I'm not the guy who has to come in.
So our listeners, they probably saw Rocket Frog Brewing, and a lot of them are.
Well, what's his first memory of beer?
Oh yeah, your first memory of beer. I'm so sorry.
I think I think I was in the sixth. I mean, beer was always around my family, but not in a big way. My dad would just drink one or two Schaefers. But I think when I was in sixth grade, we went to my friend's club. Like he was in fifth grade, and his family belonged to this private club in Annapolis. Well, it turned out it was a nudist colony. And
Oh.
it definitely scarred me. I won't get into details. But at one point, a bunch of us, we snuck some beer in, and there's like a can of, I think it was called nude beer. Let's like scratch off things. And like that was my first real memory of drinking a beer. And I mean,
So
I mean,
first.
it was bizarre. Everything about it was bizarre.
So we're gonna do a follow-up podcast just on that event, and so I'm
I
guessing.
think professionals for that.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Nudist Colony Brewing was taken as a name. I'm guessing, right, and that's why
It wasn't
named that.
considered.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, it wasn't even
not-
considered. Okay.
Not
Okay.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure some of our listeners are looking up on their phone Rocket Frog Brewing. Where are you located? And you guys are located in Virginia, correct?
Yeah, we're in Sterling, Virginia, a few miles away from Dulles Airport, which is the international airport for Washington, D.C.
Nice.
We're about 25 miles maybe outside of D.C.
Wow.
Okay, real close.
Yeah, maybe about that, yeah. So, so our range is Northern Virginia, and D.C. is where our beers are sold. Actually, our beers are now sold all over the state, but we consider ourselves a Northern Virginia brewery.
Yeah.
What is that area called? I forget the DC.
The DMV?
DMV. Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is the? I don't want to typecast you into an area, but what's the DMV beer scene like? What
It's young.
Yeah.
The two oldest breweries are basically 10 years old, with DC Brow, Port City Brewing Company,
Yeah.
and I think Lost Rhino is right behind them. Lost Rhino is pretty close to us. Port City's in Alexandria, so there's a bunch of laws that were changed maybe 8 years ago where breweries in Virginia did not have to serve food if you're
Nice.
considered manufacturing. And that was our boon for, went from 50 breweries in the state to like 200 pretty fast.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
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 So at first, this about 6-7 years ago, if you went around to the breweries, you would think it was a land of Kolsch because it seemed everyone was doing a Kolsch of some sort.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Not opposed. That's
So-
cool. So when did this whole idea of Rocket Frog come from? Were you guys homebrewing or something? Or
So my brother and I were involved with a kind of a video blog on YouTube called Better Beer Authority. And it
okay.
was a blind review TV show started by my friends James Knott in Ohio. And it became a blind review TV show. He used to work for Larry King Live, so it was talk show format.
Very cool.
Did you get Larry King on at all?
No, I'm
Shut
trying
up.
to remember if he, one of my brothers had, in one of his wedding videos, he actually got Larry King to narrate it once.
Oh, that's
my
awesome.
God. That's cool.
But yeah, so the production value was really good. He built a set.
Yeah.
And I think doing the blind reviews really got us, the breweries really liked us. A lot of the fans didn't. It's like, oh, how could you give my favorite beer a low score?
Yeah.
Like, hey, it was a blind review. It was about as.
Right.
And that got my brother and I, once James stopped in Ohio, we brought it to Virginia, but we ended up interviewing people like Sam Calagione, in Delaware and Dogfish Head.
Very
And then
cool.
we went and interviewed the owners of Founders in 2012. And I think while we were interviewing them, my brother leans over and says, "Hey, let's open a brewery." I was like, "Sure, let's do that." And I thought, everyone wants to do that. And he ended up taking classes at Portland State University.
Okay.
I was running my parents' business at the time, knowing it was going to go under in a few years, just the way technology and video content market was going.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just picked up a lot of other stuff, like in the peripheral of the craft beer industry. So 6 years and a week from the day he said that, we opened.
Holy cow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that was, so we just passed our 3rd year anniversary last week.
Congrats.
congratulations.
Congrats.
So Rocket Frog Brewing, you mentioned Nudist Colony was never considered as a name,
No.
but why Rocket Frog? Where did that come from?
So my brother and I used to surf a lot, and so we were trying to think of surfing themed names, and nothing was sticking. And by the business plan was done, and we started getting investor money, and we're like, all right, we have to put this into a bank account. So it means you have to have a real LLC, and it's becoming real. So what is our name? And I had changed my fantasy football team name a couple years ago to Rocket Frog after an incident that happened in Wallops Island, Virginia, which
Yeah.
I didn't know where it was when it happened. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So as a joke, I emailed him, "Hey, how about Rocket Frog Brewing Company? Mention the fun we could have with it." And he responded with one word, "Sure."
Then you were stuck with it.
Done.
Yeah.
But then we realized, so when I met with, we're in Loudoun County, so when I met with them, they're like, I bet Orbital ATK, who's a Loudoun County business, developed the rocket, and they did. They're now owned by Northrop Grumman, so they're a mile and a half from our brewery. The launch, that launch. So it was a launch that blasted a frog into the air in a photobomb,
Okay.
and it became a news story. And so that happened in Virginia, and then the launch happened on our birthday.
Wow.
Wow. So that was all really meant to be then.
You had a lot of stars aligned kind of things.
Everyone said it was Kismet, and I had to go look up what Kismet meant.
Yes.
So,
I still don't actually know what that means. So if you want to tell me, we can do it off air.
fate, maybe.
Fate.
Yeah, fate.
Cool.
You know what? We're going to discuss what Kismet actually means while our sponsors are playing. So, Sound Guy Ryan,
Take it
Take it
away.
away.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service for craft beer lovers. Each month, Shirts on Tap partners up with 7 different breweries from across the country and collaborates on a sweet custom shirt design. We've been teamed up with Shirts on Tap since the inception of the podcast and are proud to announce a new promo code for all of our listeners. To get your first shirt for $5 off, go to the link in our description below and use the promo code. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts. All right, so we know what Kismet means. Does not mean I'm going to use it in a sentence. I hope our
No,
listeners
still not
will
going to try it.
never hear us say like, "Well, that's Kismet." We have 2 more interviews tonight, so I am going to try to throw it in. Though.
We will.
We should
will.
do like a Matt bingo and try to throw it in. Like, oh, that was Kismet.
We'll make one up.
It was. Yeah, it was. We got to do it. So, Richard, I am curious. Starting a brewery with your twin brother, right? Are you guys like best friends? I've grown up with twins who are
you guys
either
hate
best
each other
friends
now?
or twins that are just not best friends.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're best friends.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So I would say, yeah.
So you're still
we
friends.
Yeah, we're still friends. You know,
Good.
we get after it a little bit more now than we used to, but it's still all in this fact that we have the same goal
Right.
with the brewery
Yeah.
and such. And then he's got more stock into it than I do, so I understand.
Definitely.
We're thinking, if something happens or whatever.
It affects him quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your brewery known for? Are you guys, a lager brew house? Are you an IPA brew house?
Well, we kind of do everything. We're
Cool.
we're known for our brown ale.
Nice. That's awesome. That's really cool.
4 months after we opened, we won a GABF bronze
Oh,
with it.
Congratulations.
that's awesome.
And yeah, it was a game changer for us, and it was a really cool moment. And then last year we got a silver for it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it's still good.
So it wasn't a fluke.
Right.
And so that we do our hazy IPAs, but we're really stuck to our guns on like our flagships are West Coast clear IPAs.
Nice.
We have our lagers have gotten really good,
Yeah.
and so we're good. So I kind of have a philosophy, trying to have a beer for everybody.
Definitely. We appreciate
And
Yeah.
yeah, and we have a flagship model with 4 flagships, and then kind of rotating in seasonals.
that. Oh, nice. What are your flagships right now?
Hellenor, it's a Helles Munich lager. The Wallops Island Brown Ale. Antieries IPA, more old school West Coast IPA, and then Angry Alice Double IPA.
Nice.
Nice.
Curious on the names. Helenor, where are you guys getting these names? Do they have any meaning, family names?
So
or is it just-
Hellenor is named after my niece Eleanor.
Yep.
And
It's just a Helen.
Angry Alice is Alice's. Is Eleanor's sister.
Okay.
Get out. That's so funny.
Yeah, so my niece, and then Wallops Island is where that launch happened.
Yeah.
Antares is a rocket that Northrop Grumman continuously launches now
Oh, nice.
out of the Wallops Island Spaceport. They do resupply missions to International Space
Oh,
Station.
jeez. Wow.
Yeah,
cool.
so
That's rad.
so we try. We think of naming beers to either be the hardest or easiest thing.
Yeah.
And the more different beers we have, it becomes harder.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I am curious about, you mentioned a beer for everyone. What are you doing to ensure that, your brewery is for everyone, whether it's your patrons or your employees?
I mean, it's definitely a very poignant question right now.
Yeah.
We extend that philosophy to treating everybody. We want to please. It's like we can't please everybody, but we want something for everyone as much as possible.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we treat people with respect. So when people come in, the thing is, don't judge them and like, oh, the most annoying thing a customer says to me is, oh, what's it like? Especially some of the guys, like, oh, where are the girl beers? Where are the chick beers? And I'm like, and I'll tell them, like, beer doesn't have gender.
Yeah. Exactly.
And such, but the question to ask somebody is, what do you normally drink, or what do you like to drink?
Right.
It's find out about the customer, and not to assume anything.
Yeah.
Because especially Northern Virginia is a really diverse area. The lines blur a little more west and south of where we are, so I think we benefit from that in being an environment and such. So that it's kind of that's the attitude of how we treat everybody is what do you do? What do you like?
Yeah.
And go from there. And so we're a pretty small staff, 3 full-time, and we just brought on our 4th bartender.
Oh, wow.
yesterday.
Still pretty small then.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So I am curious. I think of the DMV area as I hate to say like fluid, but I mean, I feel like people stay there and it's very traveled, right? There's a lot of business that goes in there, and there's hotels everywhere. Yeah, coming and going, right? Do you see a lot of that traffic, or do you see just a lot of locals?
I was actually born in DC and grew up inside the Beltway.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I'm a rarity that has Washington DC on my passport.
Yeah.
So we're in Loudoun County, so we're a couple counties outside of DC, and this is like East Coast. Silicon Valley. Over 80% of the world's internet traffic comes to this county and the data centers. So
that's the data center that. Oh man, we have something that like. What was it called?
What, I don't know. What's going on?
What was the town that we would see like? Oh, there's 1 million listens for the Brewery's podcast, and we'd be like, oh, we're the most popular podcast in the world.
Ashburnville. Yes.
Ashburnville.
Yes.
There's no Ville, but it's about a mile. Yeah,
yes.
It's a mile.
Yeah.
And that's what made finding a location so hard, because competing against all these data centers. But so that's one industry, and then you also have the federal employees, and certain jobs are cyclical every 4 to 8 years, depending on if they are
reelected,
appointed or not.
Yeah.
You'll see up until after Obama, though, it's funny, you would see a lot of Illinois license plates. And when Bush was around, you saw Texas license plates all over the place. And then with Trump, you saw a lot of blacked out license plates. No. So it's kind of interesting that way. But, there is... Washington, D.C. is a great city on its own when you get away from, the tourists and the government part. It's a really fun place to be. And Northern Virginia has gotten really awesome too.
I've been to Alexandria before. The restaurant scene there is awesome. The nightlife. I mean, when I went 6 years ago, I was like, this area is missing breweries. And now it's good to hear that you guys are kind of growing.
There's a couple there in the peripheral. Port City, and you may have heard of Aslan Brewing is there. So. But yeah, it's really expensive though. So you won't see many production breweries there.
Yeah, definitely not.
So speaking in the realm of politicians and all of that stuff, have you had the opportunity to serve any senators, House members, or anyone that's of notoriety politically?
I don't. I know we've had some state politicians come in. We get emails and calls. Hey, can you host an event for us?
Yeah.
And we always say no to, because if we were closer into the city, the political beliefs of our environment would change. But out here, it's 50-50 split. So you have you can't really do it as much as we wanted one way or another. Mm-hmm. So we'll stay out of it in that realm. But when it comes to social justice, that shouldn't be politics.
Yeah.
But we've seen, funny thing, Ashburn is where the Washington football team once used to be the Redskins. Their training facilities around here. So we've seen a couple football players in here. They're hard to miss because they're so big.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
You guys need a new quarterback, but we do too. We do too here in New England, so it's fine. It's fine. We can talk about that.
Right, but we need new ownership too.
Yeah.
But so it's kind of funny how they're out here. But most of the politicians, they're closer into the city.
They probably have other places.
Or in Great Falls, where it's higher rent area.
Yeah. So we talked about the beers that you're brewing. I do want to talk about what's next for Rocket Frog, but we have to have a word from our sponsors. So Ryan,
take it away.
Take it away.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brute sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer, So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
All right, and we're back, Matt.
We are back. Sound guy Ryan, thank you for doing that, as always.
As always.
Yeah. So, Richard, we were talking about what's next for Rocket Frog. And right now, what system are you brewing on?
So we have an oversized 15-barrel specific mechanical system, steam jacketed.
Ooh, fancy.
So we've got the lauter mash tun, the kettle, and we have the whirlpool.
Yep.
So I could smell it through the office that they just put the hop additions into the Czech Pilsner they're brewing. So
That's awesome.
Which I think I sent you guys a can of that.
Yeah. We'll be digging into those real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of our fastest moving beers. So
Really?
Yeah.
meant to be
That's
a one-off.
awesome.
But yeah, it was, our brewer really nailed that one. So right now we had a production meeting for the rest of the summer and fall last week. So with the distribution is expanding and we're close to maxed out on size. So it's keeping up with our 4 flagships plus popping out. We have a Goza series called Kai Goza to the Beach. It's
Nice.
named after our brewer's son Kai, which means ocean in Hawaiian. So kind of planning that, like, we just released 2 yesterday. It's planning the later ones in the summer and what to do in the fall. Doing pop-up beer gardens once a month throughout the summer in Old Town Alexandria.
Oh, cool.
Actually, yeah. So,
Nice.
So I'm planning on that. It's kind of cool to have a permit to allow me to do that. So
Definitely.
the first one is reggae themed, June 12th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that, to me, that's my big focus. And the brewers are, so we're gonna pump out like variations of our similar beers right now, and because distribution is really ramping back up as everything's opening up, and I think all of us are caught. Like, we still don't know the right ratio of canning
Right.
versus kegging, and
Yeah.
versus, and now we're more popular now here, so we're running out of running out of draft faster.
Right. Right.
Good problems to have, but there's still problems.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you have any new distribution plans coming up, or just kind of staying in your area?
I think offline I was telling you how we were in Delaware, but our distributor they're a small distributor, but they acquired another small distribution company out of Richmond, and they just moved a guy down to Virginia Beach and Tidewater area. There's a lot of accounts there, so
Nice.
it's kind of nice that we are within the same state, but it's a completely different market.
Yeah.
But we also don't have to fill out any TTB forms to be down there, or any extra ABC forms.
Yes.
So it's a nice natural progression. And we're also in Washington, D.C. I'd love to get into suburban Maryland also
Yeah.
at some point. We keep getting asked, but really we have to take care of our lines here, and then what we're doing in distribution first.
Maybe when you get new tanks, bigger tanks.
Yeah, funny you say that, because we just got 2 small 5-barrel tanks
Ooh, nice.
that Russell Carpenter, head brewer, can mess around with, and he put in a
Flanders
Flanders Red in them already.
Sweet.
Oh, right. Nice.
Love it. Love it.
It is cool to hear that you guys are brewing beers that I wish some of our breweries around here would
Yeah,
brew.
no, you guys have a great variety. It's really cool.
It's funny. I never felt like I was a traditionalist when it came to beer until we opened up, and I realized what I really love. And while we do put out the hazies, and we just did our first Kavaikis IPA,
Yeah,
we still kind of
that's
stick
what I
to but we still stick to the guns of what we were drinking, I guess, before 2015, if you will. But I see the trend circling back to those beers, the cleaner beers, and
So have we. Yeah, which is nice to see, I think.
Do you see yourself as more drinking those styles at home? Are you drinking those Flanders Reds? You drinking the brown ales, the Kolsch's, or what are you drinking at home?
So I've never been a huge brown ale fan. So our brewer, He was in Actually, have you guys heard of True West in Acton, Massachusetts?
Yeah, actually, I've been there a few times.
So we got him from there a few years ago.
Oh, all right.
Where
Nice.
So he sent us a growler of that brown ale, and I was like, okay, this isn't just any malt backbone brown ale.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff to it. But I find myself at home drinking lagers these days, especially Pilsners and Helles. I'm a West Coast IPA guy. But also kind of in Gozas. I drink a lot of Goza too. So that's what I find myself drinking mostly when I'm not at the brewery.
Yeah.
Now, has anyone done any blind taste tests of your beer that you've agreed with or disagreed with?
I don't know. No, I know people have done,
Reviews and things.
Yeah. I haven't seen a bad one yet.
There we go.
Or I just blocked it out.
Right.
Yeah.
You see enough bad reviews on Untapped and whatever, and
Yes.
you kind of just, to me, you just shrug it off. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's
not for everyone, I guess.
it is. I think everyone uses Untapped their own personal way. I think,
Yeah.
and so what sucks is there are people who judge based on ratings of that when so many people use that as their own personal guideline rather than anything else.
Right.
So our podcast, obviously located in Massachusetts. We are Massachusetts heavy with the breweries that we interview. We obviously want our listeners to go out and go to your area. But a lot of times I always want a guide. I'm going to Philly this weekend. I want to know the best places to go, where the best place to get a cheeseburger is, where the best place is to, get that local drink. Where can you get the best breakfast when you're hungover in the morning? Richard, tell us those places.
Okay. It's a pretty... Washington, D.C. area is pretty big, but, obviously, it's like come to Rocket Frog, we're great.
Yeah.
But if you come to Loudoun County, we share a parking lot with Rocket Frog Brewing. They have a completely different beer program than us. So you can hit two radically different breweries in the same parking lot.
Nice.
But if I were saying you have 24 hours in the D.C. area, I would stick to the city. Distribution laws are kind of wild there, so you can find a lot of stuff you can't find elsewhere.
Yeah.
The bars are finally opening up again, and there's some great bars. But I would say for dirty breakfast, go to Ben's Chili Bowl. It's a DC institution for half smokes and chili cheese dogs.
Nice.
Definitely go there. Look at any Jose Andres owned restaurant. I don't know if you've heard of the World Central Kitchen, which he opened last year. He's a phenomenal humanitarian guy. He's from Spain, but he donates the earthquake the big hurricane in Puerto Rico. He went and set up kitchens there. It made meals for people, but his restaurants are phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're not the biggest beer selection, but if you want good food, go.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
And you mentioned one place in particular. We obviously want our listeners to go to your place. So where are you physically located?
We are on 22560 Glen Drive, Suite 103. Look for a brand new deck out front. It's about a month old. We have food trucks on the weekends, and we're doing a lot of fun pairings. We're doing cheese and beer pairings now.
Oh, nice.
I've got a macaron beer pairing coming up. So follow us on at Rocket Frog Beer
on all the socials.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Usually Facebook and Instagram are the big ones.
Yeah.
Same for us.
Yeah.
Nice.
We haven't figured out Twitter yet. We're trying. We're trying.
I think it's more for the beer personalities than the actual brewers.
Yeah.
Right. We keep tweeting.
Nobody's retweeting us.
Yeah.
I get the same 4 guys retweeting us.
Same.
But
Awesome.
so that we're open 7 days a week.
Perfect.
So give us come on. Let me know what you think.
We'll definitely send our people there, and
maybe we'll make our way down.
We'll stop by sometime. Yeah.
I mean, we're 10 minutes from one of the airports, so.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so just fill up the Gulfstream, fly there. There's an executive terminal over here. Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, right.
Love it. So
Cool.
I'm good.
Yeah, that was
Richard,
great.
thank you for doing this.
Thank you so
Hey,
much, Richard.
Thanks for having me.
This is a lot of fun.
Anytime.
Erica.
Oh, right. Yes. Our last question. I almost kind of spaced out on that one. Thanks. We always like to ask our guests, what are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I think still being open after 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, if you're
Yeah.
saying what am I most proud of in terms of
Just anything.
in anything, oh
Whatever you feel
man,
proud of.
I hit a 3-point shot once in 8th grade.
That was pretty cool.
It went to the wrong basket, but no, I think what I'm pretty proud of, because now beer's become more than just my life, is that we still have the same head brewer, taproom manager, and a couple other people from the beginning.
That's
And
cool.
the way we've all stuck together and are still plugging away and evolving is really, when you dream about opening a brewery, then you actually are opening. It's different.
Yeah.
So,
And it's awesome that you're giving people a source of income and a quality of life to support themselves.
it is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah. Well, we want all our listeners to make it down to Rocket Frog Brewing Company. And if you do, let them know that we sent you, because we try to send people to the best breweries.
Always.
Always. And I know we're enjoying the beer that you sent us, and hopefully we make our way down there and we get to have a beer with you, Richard.
Yeah, don't be a stranger. Or if you guys are just in the area and can't get out, I'll meet you out.
All right.
I need to get out of
Sounds
the office
good.
sometimes.
Yeah, sounds good. Take us around.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
All right.
All right.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that was an awesome episode featuring our new friends down in Sterling, Virginia, Rocket Frog Brewing Company. It's awesome to check another brewery off the list of 50 states for 50 breweries, and we are having a fun time doing that. We can do that only because of amazing support from our listeners. We're also going to be celebrating a huge milestone for breweries in our area. 30 years of Portsmouth brewing. That's amazing. So we're going to be talking with owner Peter, and you might have heard about him. He's pretty cool. And P-Brew's been doing some pretty cool stuff for a lot of years. So we're excited for it, and we're going to tell the story of Portsmouth Brewing next week. Cheers.